Hi, everyone. It's Rick Frost here again with the Winnipeg Foundation. We've been collecting information from bellwether organizations and through our networks over the last few weeks about the reaction of the charitable sector in Winnipeg in relation to the COVID-19 situation. It's now been 7 weeks since the World Health Organization declared a pandemic, and obviously the charitable sector in Winnipeg is very disrupted by all of this. We focused this week mostly asking about staff and what's happening on the staff scene. And of course, we are seeing layoffs, as you might expect. It's not surprising that that would be the case, but it's driven really by two factors. First of all, in certain types of organizations, there's an inability to deliver programs, as simple as that. Arts organizations, or perhaps going to the Y to the gym and those kinds of things, you simply can't do it any longer, and so that is affecting staffing. And then, of course, there is the loss of revenue that charities are seeing. So that's definitely having an impact, and we're going to talk a little bit more about those factors as we think about what's happening in the city right now. This week, we've been talking about the impact of the COVID-19 situation on staffing. We've been reaching out to organizations in the community using our networks to understand what's happening better. And it's kind of interesting that 2 years ago, we did a report called Stressed, Stretched, and Still Standing. And one of the findings of that particular report related to government funding. Organizations that seemed to rely less on government, had more diverse revenue streams, tended to be in a stronger position, we thought. But right now, with the loss of revenues that so many organizations are seeing, actually, that has become made them more vulnerable. And of course, we're seeing some layoffs in organizations that have lost revenues and are perhaps unable to deliver their programs. And certainly that's been a factor. It's probably fair to say that the government programs that are coming into place have not really reached the charitable sector in many respects just yet. There's a there's a rent subsidy program. There's a wage subsidy program coming in from the federal government. There's actually a $350 million package which is going to come out for stabilization of the charitable sector, but we really haven't seen that working its way at all into the community yet. And that, of course, comes back and affects staffing capacity to hire staff and impact on that sort of thing. Many organizations have what they call EAP programs to help employees through these stressful times. Certainly, organizations are reaching out and trying to keep connected to their employees, tell them what's going on, be very transparent about the decisions they're making, and we're certainly seeing executive directors and senior staff really working to keep people well connected. This is a difficult time. There's no question that the charitable sector is really disrupted by what's going on. Some organizations are overwhelmed with workload because of the special circumstance. Others are having to rejuggle what they do and think about the future, about how they're going to do it over the next year. So it does have an impact on staffing. And certainly we're monitoring that situation as closely as we can to be as supportive as we can from the Winnipeg Foundation.